welcome to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book-related things. If you're not new to my channel, welcome back. I absolutely super full disclaimer, filmed this video already, edited it, it's uploaded. I hate the lighting. It's so bad, I couldn't make it better, so I'm gonna film it again. It is a holiday in the United States right now. For me, it's a federal holiday, which means I have the day off because I do government contract work. So yeah, that means I'm gonna do some filming today before I run errands. I'm basically just avoiding running errands. Anyway, what's this video about? Releases in 2023 that I'm excited about, most of which have gay main characters, so very exciting. I am going to break it down into sections, starting with series continuations, then graphic novels, and then we're gonna go by genres. Let's just go ahead and get this show on the road. First up, we have The Faithless by C.L. Clarke. It is the Magic of the Lost Book 2. It is a adult fantasy coming out March 7th, 2023. I have the first book over on this bookshelf. I enjoyed this book a lot, the first book a lot, so I'm excited about the second book coming out, and also A Woman on a Throne. That cover is beautiful. So, in the second installment of C.L. Clarke's Magic of the Lost trilogy, Soldier Terrain and the Princess Luca must return to Balladeir to reclaim Luca's throne and to face the consequences of dismantling an empire. Together, the two women must overcome their enemies, their history, and their heartbreak in order to secure Luca's power and Terrain's freedom. Interesting, interesting. Next up, we have The Bone Shard War by ANDREA Stewart. This is the third book in the Drowning Empire trilogy, I believe. It is an adult fantasy, and it is coming out... Did I say when The Faithless is coming out? That's coming out March 7th, so it's probably already out by the time I upload this video. Anyway, Bone Shard War, ANDREA Stewart, third in the trilogy, comes out April 18th, 2023. Lin Sakai has won her first victory as emperor, but the future of the Phoenix Empire hangs in the balance, and Lin is dangerously short of allies. As her own governors plot treason, the Shardless few renew hostilities. Worse still, Lin discovers her old nemesis Nisong has joined forces with rogue Alana Reagan. Both seek her death. Yet, hope lies in history. Legend tells of 7 mythic swords forged in centuries past. If Lin can find them before her enemies, she may yet be able to turn the tide. If she fails, the Sakai dynasty and the entire empire will fall. Rip in peace, bestie. And finally, in the series continuation section, I have Bleeding Heart by Brittany M. Willows. This is the second book in the Cardplay Duology book. It is a young adult fantasy coming out May 11th, 2023. I have the first book somewhere over here, Bloody Spade. Yeah, you can just kind of see the end of it there. After a valiant rescue mission saw to the end of the criminal organization Blackjack, Cardplay has taken advantage of the relative peace following their victory to recuperate. However, no news isn't necessarily good news. All that stands between the mundane world and untold chaos is a single unbroken seal. One mistake and the futures, dreams, second chances, and fresh starts they've all been working towards could be ripped away. I'm really excited about that one, actually. I've read Bloody Spade a couple of times, and I'm mutuals with Brittany, so I've seen a few of her just posting about the book and stuff, so I'm kind of excited about it coming out, honestly. Next up, we have graphic novels, starting with Grace Needs Space by Benjamin A. Wilgus, which is a middle grade fantasy, or middle grade sci-fi graphic novel, coming out April 4th, 2023. In this sci-fi adventure, Grace is excited to spend the weekend away from her overbearing mother and finally get to spend time with her quote-unquote fun mom on a delivery to Titan. But when things go sideways, it's up to Grace, with some help of her mother back home, to save the day. This cover's really cute, and the idea of like two moms and like the kid just, you know, navigating that on top of it being this like sci-fi situation just sounds really cute, and it just looks like a really fun story, so I'm excited about reading that one. Next up, we have The Marble Queen by Anna Kopp. This is a young adult fantasy graphic novel coming out September 12th, 2023. And also the cover is beautiful on this one. Princess Amelia's kingdom, Marian, is in shambles after months of their trade routes being ravaged by pirates, and now the only seemingly option left is for her to save it through a marriage alliance. When she gets an exorbitant offer from the royalty of Iliad, a country shrouded in mystery, Amelia accepts without question and leaves her home to begin a new life. But she lands on Iliad's shores to find that her betrothed isn't the country's prince, but the recently coronated Queen Celira. Shocked, Amelia tries to make sense of her situation and her confused heart. Celira has awakened strange new feelings inside her, but something dark hides behind the queen's sorrowful eyes. Amelia must fight the demons of her own anxiety disorder before she can tackle her wife's, all while war looms on the horizon. This seems like heartwarming, sort of, but not. Like, upsetting, but heartwarming. Yeah, something like that. Next up, we have my fantasy and sci-fi releases that I am excited for. We're going to start with Some Desperate Glory by Emily Tesh. This is an adult sci-fi that is coming out April 11th, 2023. This was a recommendation from my friend Landis, Manic Femme on everything, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they recommended this to me, or I saw them talking about it and I added it because of that. One or the other. All of her life, Kier has trained for the day she can avenge the murder of the planet Earth. Raised in the bowels of Gaia Station alongside the scraps of humanity, she readies herself to face the wisdom, the all-powerful, reality-shaping weapon that gave Majota the victory over humanity. They are what's left. They are what must survive. Kier is one of the best warriors in her generation, the sword of a dead planet, but when command assigns her brother certain death and relegates her to the nursery to bear sons until she dies trying, she knows she must take humanity's revenge into her own hands. Alongside her brother's brilliant but seditious friend and on a lonely captive alien, she escapes from everything she's ever known into a universe far more complicated than she was taught and far more wondrous than she could have imagined. Crazy. It seems really like complex, but also like a lot of fun to read. So I think that it'll be good. And it comes out in April, so maybe I can get my hands on it in 2 months. It's currently February. I keep thinking it's March already, and it is not. As of filming this, when this is posted, it'll be March. Next up, and this one I am really excited for, we have The Remarkable Retirement of Edna Fisher by E.M. Anderson, which is an adult fantasy coming out April 21st, 2023. When I initially filmed this, I was like, wait, am I neutrals with this author? And then I guess, I don't know, Twitter heard me, because after saying that, I now like see this author all over my timeline, and I was like, okay, so yes, I am neutrals with this author. This story seems super fantastic. And I can give you the gist of the summary, actually. Edna Fisher is an old lady who like knits and stuff, and she lost her son who was like a knight who fought dragons, and there's like a wizard that's like now trying to take down the knights, and Edna is suddenly chosen by this wizard's council as the chosen one. Even though she's an older person, and there's like a teenager that's apparently trying to like take her destiny because she's like, you shouldn't have this destiny. And then it turns out that like maybe just perhaps maybe the wizard trying to take down the knights is maybe not the bad guy here, because the knights are maybe kind of like, you know, ACAB, you know? So that's kind of the gist of what I've gotten from this. Definitely read the summary on your own, but I personally like my version better. So I swear to God, if the sun is going down for some reason behind a cloud while I am in the middle of filming, I'm gonna lose my mind. Next up, and last but not least on the fantasy sci-fi books, we have Witch King by Martha Wells. This is an adult fantasy coming out May 30th, 2023. That is the day after my birthday, so if anyone wanted to get it for me, you can. Kai's having a long day in Martha Wells' Witch King. After being murdered, his consciousness dormant and unaware of the passing of time while confined in an elaborate water trap, Kai wakes to find a lesser mage attempting to harness Kai's magic to his own advantage. That was never going to go well. But why was Kai imprisoned in the first place? What has changed in the world since his assassination? And why does the Rising World Coalition appear to be growing in influence? Kai will need to pull his allies close and draw on all of his pain magic if he's to answer even the least of these questions. He's not going to like the answers. I like Martha Wells' writing a lot. I've read her sci-fi books, quite a few of them, and I'm really excited about reading a fantasy story from her because I've not read fantasy, I don't think, from her before. And this overall just looks a lot of fun, and I like the cover a lot, so yeah. Next up, we're going to talk about thriller and horror books that I'm excited about. Now, I will totally admit that this was very hard to narrow down because I honestly made it almost the entire video. If you want to know about horror books I am excited about alone, horror thriller by itself, let me know. I can make that video because I have enough books on there that I am excited about that I can talk about and put in one whole video. But I did narrow it down to about 4 or 5 books, and let's go ahead and get that started. First up, we have Eyes, Guts, Throat, Bones by Maura Foyle Doyle. That is an adult short story collection. It doesn't say what audience it's intended for, so I put adult. It could be young adult. I honestly don't know. It is a short story horror collection. I do like Moira's I do like Moira's writing, so I'm excited about this one. What will the end of the world look like? Will it be an old man slowly turning to gold, flowers raining from the sky, or a hole cut through the wire fencing that keeps the monsters out? Is it someone you love wearing your face, or a good old-fashioned interdimensional summoning? Does it sound like a howl outside the window, or does it look like coming home? This startling and irresistibly witty collection from the phenomenally talented Moira Foyle is an exploration of all our darkest impulses and deepest fears. Spooky! Next up, we have Graveyard of the Lost Children by KATRINA MONROE. This is an adult horror coming out May 9th, 2023. I will disclaim that I think this is going to be an interesting book because I am someone who wants to have children one day, but also finds thinking too hard about pregnancy is horrifying. You grow an entire human being inside your body. That's wild. That is just conceptually wild. So, with that being said, at 4 months old, Olivia Dahl was almost murdered. Driven by haunting visions, her mother became obsessed with the idea that Olivia was a changeling, and that the only way to get her real baby back was to make a trade with the quote-unquote dead woman living at the bottom of the well. Now, Olivia is ready to give birth to a daughter of her own, and for the first time, she hears the woman whispering. Everyone tells Olivia she should be happy, she should be glowing, but the birth of her daughter only fills Olivia with dread. As Olivia's body starts giving out, slowly deteriorating as the baby eats and eats and eats, she begins to fear that the baby isn't her daughter at all, and despite her best efforts, history is repeating itself. Soon, images of a black-haired woman plague Olivia's nightmares, drawing her back to the well that almost claimed her life, tying mother and daughter together in a desperate cycle of fear and violence that must be broken if Olivia has any hope of saving her child or herself. Ah! Gross, horrifying, terrifying. It seems very interesting. Next, we have You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Barron. This is a young adult horror coming out June 20th, 2023. With the disclaimer that I definitely added this to the list because I like Kaylin's writing and I feel biased in that she's also from San Antonio, Texas. And while I no longer live there, there's some kinship in my head that doesn't exist, but it's there in my head. And I also like all of Kaylin's other books. So I am excited about this one because I don't think Kaylin has written horror. I've yet to see horror from Kaylin, and maybe I've missed something, but you know. So I'm excited to see what this is about. Charity Curtis has the summer job of her dreams, playing the quote-unquote final girl at Camp Mirror Lake. Guests pay to be scared in their full-contact terror game as Charity and her summer crew recreate scenes from a classic slasher film, Curse of Camp Mirror Lake. The more realistic the fear, the better for business. But the last weekend of the season, Charity's coworkers begin disappearing, and when one ends up dead, Charity's role as the final girl suddenly becomes all too real. If Charity and her girlfriend Bezzy hope to survive the night, they'll need to figure out what this killer is after, if there is more to the story of Mirror Lake and its dangerous past than Charity ever suspected. Dun, dun, dun. And for the same reason as Kaylin Barron, I have Where Echoes Die by Courtney Gold, which is a young adult horror coming out June 20th, 2023. That is on this list because I like Courtney Gold's writing, and this one could be good, but it could be a contemporary hiding as horror genre. We'll see. Here's the description. Beck Bershing has been adrift since the death of her mother, a brilliant but troubled investigative reporter. She finds herself unable to stop herself from slipping into memories of happier days, clamoring for a time when things were normal. So when a mysterious letter in her mother's handwriting arrives in the mail with the words, "Come and find me," pointing to a town called Backravel, Beck hopes that it may hold the answers. But when Beck and her sister Riley arrive in Backravel, Arizona, it's clear that there's something off about the town. There are no cars, no cemeteries, no churches. The town is a mix of dilapidated military structures and new shiny buildings, all overseen by the town's gleaming treatment center high on a plateau. No one seems to remember when they got there, and the only people who seem to know more than they're letting on is the town's enigmatic leader and his daughter, Avery. As the sisters search for answers about their mother, Beck and Avery become more drawn together, and their unexpected connection brings up emotions Beck has buried since her mother's death. Beck is desperate to hold on to the way things used to be, and when she starts losing herself in Backravel and its connection to her mother, will there be a way for Beck to pull herself out? Let's hope so, because haha, that's terrifying if not. But that's it. Those are the releases that I am excited for in 2023. I will probably have some more later on in the year. There's probably some that I have forgotten or just didn't know about. But those are the ones that I've kind of narrowed down as the ones that I am absolutely the most excited for. So let me know in the comments down below if you're excited for any of these, if maybe you got a review copy and you could tell me if some of them are good or not. Just let me know. I'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. If you didn't enjoy this video, I only make them once a year, but let me know how I can make it better for you next year. And if you want that horror video, please let me know, because I would love to make it. I just don't want to put in the effort if nobody wants it, you know? I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway. I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, so I will see you guys again later on this week. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves. Okay, thanks, bye.